Hey, you know what? I'm Johnny Scoville, and this, you betcha, this is Chase the Heat. Uncle Bullcow is a friend of mine. What a great guy. Super proud of him because he's a chili head. Let me straighten this camera out. He's a chili head, but he's a chili head who followed his passion, his dreams, and now he sells hot sauce. He's a sauce seller. I love it. I'm just super proud of him. Watching the guy goes from, hey man, this is really cool, and my friends like what I make, to, hey, I'm a hot sauce company. I did it. It's fun to do. And I'm proud of him. And I've got a dandy of a sauce right now I'm going to be trying. Raspberry Reaper hot sauce. Here's the deal, people. I got a thing with raspberry. I really, really do. It's probably one of my favorite berries. Yeah, I mean, I like blackberries. I like blueberries, strawberries. Although strawberries, are they a berry? I think they're not. Something weird about the strawberry. Or a banana's a berry or something. At any rate, I really, really love raspberries. So, we got a raspberry sauce, and I've got a handful of really cool rock and roll trivia I'm going to give you. Some very cool stuff. And I want to know how many of you guys, have you heard of this, or you're like, no way. Guaranteed to be fun. So, the ingredients are organic raspberries, #1 ingredient. Already it's good. Carolina Reaper, cider vinegar, organic apple juice, and organic sugar. Now, I don't have my spoon with me, so I'm using my anatomical snuff box. People, every day somebody will see me, and I may have said that 10,000 times. That's not true. 100 times. But there are going to be people that will be watching this video for the first time, and they're going to say, I'm sorry, hey, did you hear what he just said? Wait, what? Can you back that up and see what he just said? You heard me? It's right here, people. Okay, if you put your thumb down, you really can't see it, but if you lift your thumb up, it sort of creates this little indentation of a little pocket. And that is on, we all have one. It's called an anatomical snuff box. Wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. At any rate, I'll be using my anatomical snuff box today to sample this sauce. Then we're going to get into the some really cool rock and roll trivia. Love the color of this. You can see all the raspberries clinging to the inside of the neck. All right, before I even eat this and review this, let me tell you what this is good for. Because every time I do a review, if I forget to, someone's going to say, hey, man, that's really cool, but what in the world would you put that on? This is amazing on ice cream, cheesecake. You're going to think I'm a madman, but I swear to you, when I get sauces like this, when it gets down low, I'll throw a little bit of balsamic vinegar in it, shake it up, and make it a salad dressing. I haven't bought salad dressing way over a decade since I bought salad dressing. I just don't do it. Wow. Seriously, it's been over 10 years since I bought salad dressing. Why would you? So there's a lot of good things you can use. This is a lot of times it's classified as a dessert sauce. And here we go. There we go. All right, right away. Here's the thing about this. Right away, there's a Reaper aroma, and I mean, that's a Reaper. That's a smell. I know. I can pick up the raspberries, but absolutely unquestionable Reaper. Can I tell you why that's important to me? Too often times in a sauce, and listen, I'll get it. I get it. If you have a sauce with 3 or 4 different peppers and none of the peppers individually stand out and you just sort of get a peppery aroma, I get it. You know what I mean? But when you have one pepper and you really can't, you can sort of, there's one pepper in this, Reaper. And I'm telling you, it's unmistakably Reaper. In fact, turn on your smell-o-vision. I'll give you a second. If you don't have it, you're not going to be able to download it quick enough. I'll tell you about it after. Kick on your smell-o-vision. You ready? And get a whiff. You smell that right away, just like, oh wow, he's right, that's Reaper. I mean, it's Reaper. It's Carolina Reaper. You can smell the raspberry, but that's Reaper. All right, now, Smell-O-Vision. If you don't have it, go to the App Store. You'll see it in comments all the time, but when you see people spell it in the comment section, you'll see it hyphenated. Smell-O-Vision. However, if you look for it in the App Store with the dashes, you're not going to find it. So remove the dashes. It's available for Apple, all Apple and Android devices. I know we had trouble with the 2.0. We've recently rolled out the 3.0. Well, the only changes is you can smell it from further away. Otherwise, it's the same great app that we all love and enjoy. But that's your Smell-O-Vision plug. All right, so great aroma. But this is going to be, for me, this is an ice cream sauce. You know what else is good that I forgot to mention? Pancakes, waffles, incredible. Really, really good on pancakes. All right, do you guys see the... There you go. See that? That's the sauce on my anatomical snuff box. I'm Johnny Scoble. And this is Chase C. Okay, so here's the deal with this. Pardon me. Okay, here's the deal with this. All right. First thing right off the bat is I love the texture. You get the little raspberry seeds. Unmistakable. Different than any other berry seed to me. More noticeable than blueberries or, blackberries or... So you get the seeds. The texture is fantastic. But this sauce is hot. The second ingredient is Reapers. So this is a hot sauce. This is not a sauce for a newbie. All right, so if you're brand new, if you're really checking out the Pepperology series, buy this and work your way up to it, but boy, don't try it now. You're a chili head? See, here's the deal. Uncle Bullcow is a chili head sauce guy. He's a chili head, for a legit chili head. So his sauces are chili head sauces. And I say that because there are some that are not. You know, some sauces, I'm not going to pick on any. I'm not. But there are some sauces that are just, they're very low heat. And for everybody, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how we all get started. But those are the sauce companies that will say, hey, just one drop is all you need. And it's mild as can be. And you're like, what are they even talking about? No claims on this label anywhere. Doesn't talk about percentage of pepper. Doesn't talk about how hot it is. That's a hot dessert sauce. Now, it would be spectacular on pancakes, waffles, cheesecake. Here's a wonderful thing about ice cream. If you try this on ice cream, the dairy will offset a good deal of the heat. What happens is that the fat from the dairy, all right, it bonds to the receptors in your tongue, and it kind of blocks it a little bit. So it absolutely will offset a good deal of the heat if you put this on ice cream. But still, this is a hot sauce. So for a non-chili head, 10. More than a 10, problem. You wouldn't enjoy it. You wouldn't be like, raspberry, I don't taste any raspberry. That's what you'd say. And you say Reaper. What do you mean Reaper? If you're a chili head, you'd be like, wow, the raspberry, wow, the Reaper. But it's a 7 and up. You'll have some thug chili heads that will call that a 6, but that's probably a 7 and up. That's a great sauce. Now, before I get into today's trivia, because I got some really cool trivia, I had a great day today. I'm in the process of having a great day today. This is one of those things where it happens. It happened with Netflix, with We Are the Champions. I'm like, something big's happened. I can't tell you, but you'll see it soon. I didn't lie to you. Hulu, something big's happened. Can't tell you about it. It happened. I don't lie to you guys. Something big's happening. And I can't tell you about it, but you're going to see it, just like the other things I just mentioned. And it's wicked, wicked exciting. Wicked excited. Anyway, let's get right to the trivia. I got some great trivia. I don't know when I'm going to be able to tell you this either. That's a problem. I have 8 pieces of trivia. I don't know when I'll be able to tell it to you, but boy, I can't wait to. But again, just so you know, this is one of those things you're all going to see. And I mean all are you going to see. Here's the thing. Some people see it on Netflix. Some people see me on Hulu or YouTube. But cable TV, you know, regular mainstream TV, you don't see me there. I've said too much. Number 1, Billy Idol. Oh, it's a nice day for a white wedding. It really is a nice day for a white wedding. Kind of drizzly. Isn't that the kind of day you want a white wedding? Billy Idol is removed from his hotel room by the Thai military. Listen to this story. Just after a difficult breakup in 1989, the British-American rock legend and some pals embarked on a weeks-long trip to Thailand, wherein Idol and a gaggle of sycophants engaged in all kinds of shady rock star bad behavior, namely copious amounts of consumption of alcohol and drugs. And while under the influence, Idol proceeded to totally trash the hotel room that he was staying in. Now, this led to the complaints from fellow guests and such. You can imagine how it happened. So the hotel management had to they asked him to leave. So what does Billy Idol say? No, not going. So they actually contacted the military for assistance. Military showed up at his door along with a nurse. They immediately jabbed him with a sedative. Next thing you know, he's on a gurney, tranquilizer. They take him right to the airport, stick him on a plane, get him out of there, and they stuck him with a $250,000 fine for damages during his stay. Come on. I mean, if you're a rock and roll, is that a story? That's a rock and roll story, right? Huh. I got some good ones. Wait till you hear these. Charles Manson. He wrote a song for the Beach Boys. A lot of you people may know this. Some of you may not. In spring of 1968, the Beach Boys co-founder Dennis Wilson sparked a friendship with Manson family cult leader Charles Manson after meeting Manson at a mutual friend's home in San Francisco. At the time of their meeting, Manson was a struggling musician hoping to break in, and Wilson expressed interest in signing Manson to the Beach Boys. You believe that? So Manson wrote a song titled Cease to Exist. All right? Cease to Exist. It's about the Beach Boys' ongoing internal strife in hopes that the group would record the song. The group purchased the writing credit rights from Manson in exchange for cash and a motorcycle. Sorry, got a text message there. All right, before reworking large swaths of it, including they put on the B-side of the Bluebirds Over the Mountain single and changing the title to Never Learn Not to Love. So if you ever get the B-side of Bluebirds Over the Mountain, that song Never Learn to Love was originally called Cease to Exist, written by Charlie. All right, James Brown brandishes a shotgun in an insurance office. I mean, who doesn't? Listen, the self-described godfather of soul had a string of brushes with the law throughout his life, beginning at just 15. He got arrested breaking into cars. Brown's run-ins with authorities hit a zenith in 1988 when Brown, shotgun in tow, burst into the insurance company office located next to his own and began erratically waving the gun and complaining about strangers using his restroom. I'm not making any of this up. I'm reading this to you people. After the police were called, Brown fled, leading the authorities on a high-speed car chase between Georgia and South Carolina, spanning a couple states. You got to respect that. Brown was only able to be apprehended after the police shot out two of the tires, able to arrest him. He later was convicted on charges pertaining to the incident, was hit with a 6-year prison sentence, but he was released on parole in 91 after serving less than half of it. Still, dude did a stint. That's a thug, huh? Ozzy. If we're going to talk about Ozzy, what do you think we're going to talk about? What he did at the Alamo, we all heard that. Or is it the bat? This time it's the bat. All right, so Ozzy Osbourne famously bites the head off a bat during a concert. In a 1982 performance at the Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Des Moines, Iowa, Black Sabbath frontman bit the head off a dead bat, squeak, squeak with the wings. kind of like a rat, but with wings. It was thrown up on stage by a 17-year-old fan, Mark Neal. All right, so here's the deal. When the bat carcass landed on the stage, Ozzy Osbourne had assumed it was a rubber toy. So he picked it up, biting into it, and then he realized that the bat was in fact very real. After the concert ended, Osbourne was quickly taken to the Broadlawn Medical Center for testing and was prescribed 3 weeks of very painful rabies shots for the treatment. Now, despite, here's the thing that, the part of the story maybe you didn't know. Despite Osbourne claiming he thought the bat was a toy, the singer's behavior held precedence, given he'd ripped the dead head off a dove during a meeting with the CBS record executives after signing his very first solo deal. So to commemorate the macabre imbroglio, Osbourne began selling plush bat toys, complete with a detachable Velcro head, on his website in 2019. Travis Barker, Blink 182. He narrowly survived a plane crash. This is no joke and some scary stuff. September 19th, 2008, Blink 182 drummer Travis Barker boarded a private plane alongside his entourage, including his bodyguard Charles Still. Personal assistant Chris Baker, childhood friend Adam Goldstein, following a performance in Columbia, South Carolina. Now, as the plane, a Lear 60, sped down the runway, a tire burst. So they had to abort the takeoff, right? So they got on the binders real quick. Couldn't stop fast enough, and it slid off the runway, caught on fire, hit an embankment. No good. Still and Baker were killed in the crash alongside pilots Sarah Lemon and James Bland, but Barker and Goldstein were both able to escape the wreckage. Both Barker and Goldstein suffered severe burns necessitating skin grafts and weeks of rehabilitation. Baker, understandably, developed a serious phobia of flying and did not board another plane until 2021, when flying to Mexico alongside his wife, Kourtney Kardashian, their mother, Kris Jenner, and Jenner's partner, Corey Gamble. All right, this is an interesting one, people. Okay, sorry. My phone was jacking with me. Izzy Stradlin, guitarist for GNR. That'd be Guns N' Roses. He was arrested after relieving himself in front of a flight of passengers. Bad form. 1989, Guns N' Roses guitarist Izzy Stradlin boarded a flight from Indianapolis to Los Angeles and staged a melodramatic onboard temper tantrum. After being made to gasp, he actually had to wait to use the plane's restroom. By the time the plane had touched down in Arizona for a layover, Stradlin had left the main road. He was in the bushes, people. He had lost control and lost the plot. He had berated a flight attendant, lit up a cigarette, and he had relieved himself on the plane's galley floorway, leading him to be booted from the flight and subsequently arrested. Stradlin was given a year's probation for this. And then he returned to his family home in Indiana to get sober. And after 3 years of intense drug and alcohol abuse, Stradlin's newfound sobriety led him to actually leaving Guns N' Roses after finding it too difficult because they kind of weren't sober yet, and he was. At any rate, years later, he did reunite with the group in 1993 for a series of shows across Middle and Eastern Europe. Pretty cool, huh? Two more we're going to call it a day. This one's a good one. Who doesn't love Eddie Van Halen? Come on, right? He's like my generation's Jimmy Page. Man, Eddie Van Halen. This is one of the greatest stories. When I read this, I was like, nah. But then I was like, yeah, come on. You can't make this stuff up. If you had to make a story like this up, you couldn't. Eddie Van Halen drove a tank to Fred Durst's home before pulling a gun on him. Fred Durst, Limp Bizkit, you know he is. You either love him or you hate him. After the Van Halen and the Limp Bizkit frontman met at a party for a record executive wisely suggested that Van Halen and Durst link up for a jam session to explore a potential collaboration. Following a predictably unproductive meeting, go figure, at Durst's Beverly Hills home, Van Halen abruptly left Durst's abode, leaving behind some equipment in his desperate scramble to leave. Apparently it was a dumpster dive, right? A dumpster fire, I mean. A nightmare. So listen to this. Van Halen tried to contact Durst to reclaim his belongings, but here's the problem. He got enraged. Durst blew him off. He's like, nah, I'm not going to even talk to you. Wouldn't get back to him. And his stuff's over there, right? So Van Halen decided to take matters into his own hands. You see, he owned a tank. A tank. I don't mean a big car. You're like, man, that's a tank. I mean, he owned a tank, okay? Like an Abrams, a tank. He bought it from a military auction, and he drove it to the Beverly Hills home, Limp Bizkit, Durst's home, where they were rehearsing, and marched to the door with a gun in hand, demanding Durst return his belongings. You reckon he got his stuff back? Haha. It's a great story. All right, the last one, and this is an interesting one. ZZ Top. Who doesn't love ZZ Top? I'm a huge... Man, I love ZZ Top. I played like 90 times guitar on the channel. If you're new to the channel, you're like, man, I've never seen that dude without his goatee out. Go to the playlist and look up Cap Jammin' is the playlist. There's like 90 songs in there. One of them I'm playing I'm Bad, I'm Nationwide. Play guitar for that, and I had my goatee out, sunglasses on, the whole 9 yards. Billy Gibbons is a beast. At any rate, let's get back to the story. In June of 1976, ZZ Top notoriously eccentric worldwide Texas tour. That was, listen, do a deep dive sometime on that tour. The things that happened on that tour. Anyway, they made a stop in Pittsburgh's Three River Stadium for one of their most memorable performances. Listen to this. The Texas rock group wanted to bring a bit of Lone Star State on the road with them. So they toured with a miniature menagerie of native Texas animals, including rattlesnakes, vultures, a Texas longhorn, and a buffalo. Sounds good, right? What could go wrong with that? Well, the Pittsburgh show was a particularly raucous one. The audience members began chucking beer bottles on stage in the opening act. That was Aerosmith. And it culminated in the band's Buffalo escaping. The following day, okay, then the Buffalo escaped again on November 28th in 76 and almost destroyed a collection of limousines rented for the group. And now you know, I can say that, but somebody from Paul Harvey's family would probably sue me for that, so I can't say that. But now you know the rest of it. There you have it, people. In the description box, Uncle Bullcow, that's a great dessert sauce. All right, Raspberry Reaper, it was super delicious. No joke heat. If you're a spice head and you like a good dessert sauce, this is what you want. All right, can't wait to reveal to you the stuff that's going on in my world today, but holy moly. In the description box, Uncle Bullcow, you'll see him. Great guy, great stuff. Right there, you're going to see the bus. That's this channel. Click it. I'm the driver. It's your channel. I'm just driving this thing. I tell you the turns about it. Turn, but right before listen, when I find out, I let you know a little bit before you. I just found out of a turn. I can't quite tell you yet, but I'll tell you soon. Right there is the boat, Tommy Scoville's channel, the lifeboat. Please check that out right there. Challenges, all the dumb stuff I've done. Jumping out of planes, getting grenades tossed at me. It's a good time. And right there, that's pepperology for all you new people. Hey, listen, I love you guys. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this was Chase the Heat.